robots, though the world that you live in is going to expect you to be a robot, it's going to expect you that you're a person that doesn't have feelings, you're just feeling less. So meaning that you have to cater for my needs at no matter what. It is going to be a class that you're going to jump into a world that they will appreciate you. Do you understand that? But you're going to jump into a world they will hate you. You're going to jump into a world that very many people feel entitled because they're entitled over you. Do you understand that? You're going to jump into a world that it will be a resentment world, that even some people resent you. Do you understand that? That's the world we live in every day. And for me, in day one, when I got into the same class, I knew that my journey, I always love to share that journey with you. The journey that has brought us to this moment. The journey that is a reason to why all of us are here together. And the journey that you're going to start, that 1 year or 2 years from now, you're going to be sharing the same journey with other people, like how our the peer educators in this room, our staff members that have been part of this class are sharing with you. The journey that Bob started 7, 8 years ago. The journey that Hassan started 2 years ago. The journey that Letitia started 4 years ago. The journey that Herman started 8 years ago. You get it? The journey that my friend CJ started how many years ago? 2 years ago. The journey that Maki started how many? 1 year, 2 years? Last year. The journey that Shama started how many years? Last year. Shama and Mick and Maki 2 years, Hassan 2 years, 3 years, Bob 7 years, Hajat how many years? 3 years. But also we have people like us that started this journey 14 years ago. Do you understand that? And now for you have started a journey of how many weeks? 4 weeks ago. Super amazing. So ask yourself a question. Am I going to be here 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now? And our community is quite big. So I'd love us, all of us, to clap for each other because we have started that journey. Clap for yourself. I prepared a small presentation. And this presentation, I'm a free guy, I'm a lovely guy, jolly guy, and I've also gone through a lot of challenges. And my challenges I've gone through sometimes reflect as a lesson to so many of us that are in this class, because you've just started up your journey. And for me, when I'm in this place, I am looking at future leaders. Most of you guys are going to start up your own foundations, NGOs, businesses. You know, you're going to be leaders whereby you're leading others. Most of you are going even to work with us at Reach a Hand Uganda because we are excited that we're going to work together for the next 1 year and above. Some of you are even going to have permanent jobs within Reach a Hand and Sauti Plus. So I'm talking to that one person. That one person that knows what they want, why they chose to be with us in this month of January, why they chose to get that application, apply, why they have chose to get that 250,000 shillings to pay to be part of this journey. There's a reason to why. There's a reason to why you've decided to join Reach a Hand Uganda. There's the reason to why everyone's like, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time with those guys? But you know the reason to why you have chose to be part of this journey. And for me, my journey starts way back in 1997. That's when my journey starts. I know my mom was here. She told you about her small journey of life, right? And she's the woman that has made me who I am. That's why in my life, I appreciate a girl child. It's because of our mothers, all of us are in this room. Yeah? It is because of our mothers. And lucky you are, most of us have our mothers around. And what mom is not defined by biological. Sometimes it's defined by the person that touched your heart. I didn't grow up with my biological mother. My mom died when I was 9 months old. I just see pictures. But that woman made a choice to raise me up and my brothers as well. The way someone has made a choice. A what mother? It is not about either or a woman. A what mother? It is a choice that someone made. Some of us might have been raised up by single fathers and regret to have had a mother in what? In our lives. Some of us might have been raised up by mothers and regret to have had a father in our lives. Now, for me, my father gave birth to me when he was about 78 years of age. 78. He died when he was 95. You can now imagine. Was I having a father or a grandfather? Do you understand that? Yeah? But he was my father at the end of the day. Some of us, we have our mothers that maybe are not mentally okay. They are bad. They are sick. Or even they are old. They don't even have time for us. But at the end of the day, that person made a choice with our father to have us. That's why we are all here. And that choice was made. That choice was made. No matter how that choice was made, it has made us we are standing here, to be with us here, to be in this room all together. So every time you get a choice of someone seeing a little bit in you, of goodness in you, appreciate it. Appreciate it. And also work so hard to be a better version of yourself. All of us are going to make mistakes. But once you make those mistakes, you learn from them. And you understand who you are to be a better person tomorrow. You get? And for me, my lesson today of what I wanted to talk about was about the responsibilities of us as peer educators. But also, first and foremost, I'm very thrilled to stand before you today as a founder of this incredible organization, Reach a Hand Uganda. It is very incredible. It has changed my life. It's not about me changing people's lives, but it has changed my life as Humphrey. It has made me grow. It has made me grow. That right now, at the age of 35, some people think I am at 50 years. I just pray to God that by the time I'm 50, I don't be like 90 years, because then I'll be like a baby. Do you understand that? I just want to reach at the time that I can consolidate, remain at 35, thinking creatively for young people. It has changed my lifestyle. It has changed my behavior. I started the peer educators work in 2004. That's when I started working as a peer educator with different organizations. Trust me, I was like a prostitute. You find me here, you find me there. Bob knows those people who attend workshops. You get it? In every workshop, they'll be there. I was that person. But I was that person with a purpose. A purpose because I had had a dream that one day I'll get there. I started knowing my responsibilities. And the responsibilities that you guys are going to know today. The responsibilities to why you've been going through all these classes, lecturers, and whatever to orient you. This is more of like orienting. So you haven't started the real work of being a peer educator. As a peer educator, everyone is going to look at you as an angel who doesn't make mistakes. Letitia is seen as an angel. She's an angel, indeed. Aren't you? Aha. But Letitia is a human being. She also makes mistakes. Do you understand that? Letitia, she's also tempted by so many things. All right? Temptations like what? You say what?
Attraction to men.
Attraction to men. Are you? Hey.
Premarital sex.
Premarital sex. But she's a mature person who can make her decisions, right? Yeah, Letitia is mature. Everyone here can make a decision, right? Yeah? You can make a decision to have sex or not. But the question is, how are you having it? And where and with who? All right? But still, as an angel, you looked at as someone who shouldn't what? Have sex. As someone who shouldn't be in a relationship. Yeah? As someone who shouldn't steal. But at the end of the day, I want to remind you that you're going to be human. But as also being a human, you have to exercise a role modelship angle. How are you being a role model to others? Even the Bible says, the letters of Corinthians, Haman, you're the one who reads the Bible. Paul was telling Abakorinso, n'abagamba twemba mulya ennyama temugiriiranga mu maaso g'abantu abalina emitima ki eminafu. Do you understand that? So he was telling the strong believers, so you guys are the role models that we are telling as peer educators. Once you're outside smoking shisha, don't smoke it when the students of which school are going to be seeing you. Because you're going to be doing that. But every time you touch on that pipe, remember that you are a role model to others. All right? You're a role model to others. Once you start doing those school outreaches, we don't expect you to have relationships with students. Because you're their role model. That's you being human now. But I'm just reminding you, your humanity, that's who you are. But also your responsibility is different. So what is your responsibility? You as a peer educator. You get it? As a peer educator, you have to ensure that you're equally rewarding. So your responsibility has to be equally rewarding to what you reflect as a human being. Because after your beautiful talk, everyone is going to come to you with a lot of answers, with a lot of issues, with a lot of questions. Okay? You're the pastors. You're the pastors of life to these young people that you're going to be serving. You're going to be the pastors. And I've lived that life. But also at the end of the day, I keep reminding myself how human I am, and I want to remind you of how human you'll be, but I want you to tell you that every day you'll be aware of your responsibilities as a peer educator. Are we all together? The journey of the Peer Educators Academy started in 2014. And when it started in 2014, it was an ability that we thought would get more opportunities for young people. When we used to be peer educators, we would work with various organizations. And when you work with those organizations, they wouldn't care whether you're getting some food, whether you're eating. Their programming was quite different. It was about reporting and writing, writing a report. When the donors come, they want to invite you and you have a good speech and talk. It was about that. But my mission and vision was, we need to create a group that is more empowered. Every year we have to be celebrating how many of those are able to start up their own initiative to change the lives of young people in their communities. Because I looked at myself as a life changer. And I wanted to see everyone as a life changer. And that's why I'm very happy to say that from 2014, it has groomed more young people that have started up their own initiatives, organizations. It has groomed, and I know that in most organizational visits you've been going, you've found proud peer educators that have been welcoming you. And they're working there. And there are more like those. There are more that are going to start with you. So I want to tell you that that moment you made that choice, you didn't make that wrong decision to be here with us. But it's also going to be your responsibility as a person that has attended this class to say that now I want to take my responsibility further than just attending a class. I want to make myself proud. Someone touched my hand. And if that person didn't touch me, focused in terms of making myself who I am today, he would have said, I'm very disappointed in you, Humphrey. In 2007, when I started, I used to work on TV. I know this generation doesn't know the Humphrey on TV. You don't know, right? By that time, I think many of us were born but very young. I started working on TV in 2007. I was a TV presenter. How old were you guys? Yeah? 3 years. If TikTok was available that time, you'd be knowing me. Yeah? But now it was not. Because I have my three-year-old daughter. She loves TikTok videos. You can imagine. Yeah? And you can see her even dancing and whatever. But 2007, when NBS was just starting, I was a TV presenter. You guys watch Youth Voice. Youth Voice project or Youth Voice program was an origin to what even we see reach a hand today. The Youth Voice program was a program that was talking about life skills, reproductive health, issues around sex, SRHR, and all that. So that's a program I started at NBS TV, and I'm proud that even up to now, it is still carrying over. And I worked on that program from 2007 till 2014. 2014, how old were you? 10 years. Then in 2014 up to 2017-18, I started up another show called The Mix Up Show. Yeah? And now you're going to Mix Up, or Mix Out was out of the Get Your Mix Out campaign. In 2008-9, I started up a project called the Rural Youth Voice Project, on which I wanted to use our TV show to go and empower the rural young people in the communities. All right? And through that, we're also training other young people to speak to us. In 2010, I got a very nice opportunity to go to Holland. It was my first time on the plane. It was so amazing. It was a good feeling, okay? When I was going to Holland, I was like any other footballer who wants to go and stay there. Did you understand that? And at that time, I was done with my senior 6 VAC. So I started looking at my future elsewhere, differently. But when I got there, of course, they invited me as a TV presenter who is passionate about young people. So I was supposed to give a presentation in that conference. But I can tell you that was the game changer for me. I knew and I understood why I was doing whatever I was doing all along. I knew my responsibility at that time. I knew that I had a greater purpose to life. And just one person in that amidst who had my story, she walked to me and said, me and my father would love to offer you. Because in that, when I said in my story, I was telling them, guys, I have come to stay. I am not going where? Back. But if I can get support and I go back and finish my degree, I know I'm going to be a change maker in this world. A random person came to me and said, me and my father would love to meet with you. And when I met with them, because at that time my father had died. At that time my brothers and sisters, and you know what they would say? I'm from a senior 6. Humphrey's on TV, so the rest is okay. You get it? Naye ajja kwesobola akole ki? He will get himself there in whatever way. But I knew my passion was to study. But since I've got this opportunity, I might not get another opportunity to do what? To come back here. So when they talked to me, they said, Humphrey, if we give you tuition, will you go back to Uganda? I said, why not? In fact, you will take me, check me in, and make sure that I'm on the plane and I go back where? To Uganda. They said, okay, we're going to give you half tuition. Since you're a TV presenter and you know how to work, you'll go back to Uganda, and the half of your tuition, you add it on top of what we shall be giving you on a termly basis. I didn't take that for granted. I appreciated it. And only those 2, 3, 4 words made me the person I am today. I came back. My brothers were so disappointed in me. You get it? Of like, really? Yeah? Bamvu maybe gambo. They said, in fact, this is the only chance you have ever had in your life. There's no way. Why do the Bazungus have to lie to you? Yet at the back of my mind, I knew what I now wanted. I understood my purpose. I understood my responsibility. And that move I made to come back in 2010, it has driven me in different spaces. My work, your passion that you're having today, it is going to take you in different spaces. It is going to grow you as long as you embrace it. You're going to be one of the powerful men and women that Uganda has ever had. I'm telling you. I've witnessed it. I see it. I see it. Reach Your Hand has changed people's lives. It has changed my life. It has, if someone stands here and says that Reach Your Hand has not changed their life, they are lying. Even those who go and they are so saying, you know what, fuck it, I don't like it, whatever, those guys are fake, what. After 5, 10 years, they'll come back and say, man, those guys, that NGO, that handprint changed my life. It brought something different. Because people are going to look at you differently. So that difference, it is about you now to embrace it today. If you don't look at yourself different and you don't appreciate even the few weeks you've spent with us together, then you're not going to be that different to other people. You get it? I've seen my friend here. Welcome back. Which year? 2016. And now where are you? What are you doing now? You come over and tell us. Changing life is here.
Clinical psychology, but it's because of him. Because for us, we entered Rahu when we were very young. He's an alumni of my school, Department of Mental Health, Makerere University. So coming in to Rahu was not it was like a dream. By the time we left, which was the same period, 1 month down the road, doing what you're doing right now. And then we were like, okay, 1, 2, 3 people, we need to be like him. And we started up stuff. Some of them dropped. Some of them, we don't even know where they are. I mean, 2016 and 2024 is just a count over. But if you can look for people you had in the academy, now you guys are very privileged that you're in a very good space. Yeah? Rahu gives you food and stuff like that. But for us, we would be on TV and you're like, hey, Humphrey, he's on TV, I can't miss. Even when you're stuck somewhere, you run. So we are happy where we are. And coming back is not just a small thing. It is like something you wouldn't, if it was to jump on a bike and I ride here, I would quickly, not because I am going to Rahu, but because I am going to something that actually made me who the small I am. Yeah, so stories, I know my time is there to speak, but if you believe in what you actually want in life, then take whatever you have in your notebooks today. I don't know whether this is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day, but whatever you have in your book, for me I made sure that I put into implementation. And I am where I am because I stepped in this class. Yeah.
Abako, Karavanda. Yep. More stories like him. He's a founder of an organization. And there's something big, again, we are cooking. Because now we have more founders. And the question is, everything I ask myself, a question is that there are more founders that Richer Hand has created. Now what more can Richer Hand do for such passionate founders like them? Okay? So early this year, you guys are going to be part of a major project we are launching for founders, especially given to the priorities of people that have gone through our academy. I want to emphasize that there's no accident that many of you are part of this academy. You have been chosen because of your unique strength, your compassion, and dedication. You have the power of the lasting impact on the lives of countless young people like him. Community or industrial? Community psychology. The time that we were recruiting in 2016, we came to your class in 2015. And I was telling them my story as a community psychology student. Because Richer Hand, when it was starting, it was in the class. I was telling my guys, Herman, guys, let's go to these schools. Let's use what we are studying to implement in those schools. He wants to use his TV show, yeah, with our faces in it, and for him he will be getting money, and for us we are not getting what? But I'll tell them 3 years from now, right now I'm in first year, but 3 years from now, it should be the one to employ us. They took it for granted. Those who moved with me, in our second year, we were doing internship in Richer Hand, Uganda. In our third year, Richer Hand was employing us on very small money. In our fourth year, we were all flying. Because it took a few to believe in you. So if you're here, you have the power to make the lasting impact on the lives of countless young people. So embrace this opportunity with open arms. If you're here and you feel like you're here by mistake, then there's a problem. There's a problem. And I'm happy that everyone chose to be here. Everyone chose. So knowing that you're committed to this Peer Educators Academy is going to shape your future and the future of many. I hope you've not been wasting your transport to come here. I hope you've not been wasting your time to come here. I hope you're not using this place just, let me just go and chill and look at nice things. I hope you have not done so. Embrace your uniqueness, your abilities, the dedication, the commitment to what you're here to change the lives of many. I hope you're not here because you feel you're entitled to be here. I hope you appreciate every opportunity that has been given to you by everyone. And a good example is Lizzo. You can stand up. That lady there, I'm so proud of her. Amongst others that I'm proud of, I'm really proud of her. One of the things I can describe her, we met at Bishop's Priano. She was very active, Amongst other girls and boys I've met in schools. Ian is not here. Many of you, even him I met in a school, they're very active. And I told her, you know what? When you're done with your Form 6, join the academy. As many of you that I know have spotted in different ways, and I'm like, come and join the what? The academy. So what am I showing you is that the time she joined the academy from school last year, she has been extraordinary, and now she's employed by Sauti Plus Media Hub. And I want you, very many of you, to be like her. Okay? Very many of you to be like her. Because you're here for a reason and a purpose. And trust me, all our peer educators, we work with them, we care about them, we make sure that we give them the best. If anyone come complaining, I'm going to call Letitia, I'm going to call Bob, and I tell them why. Why are our peer educators not happy? And if you're not happy, mention it, say it. You get it. But also you have to be not happy when you have a reason for not being happy. Don't be entitled. You get it. There are people who are not entitled and they think that's not happiness. The problem is you. Because you don't appreciate the platform that you've got today. And your appreciation. Wala abantu abagamba jangu ndabe nsanyukayo. Do you mbawulidde kaabo? You come and I see how much you appreciate. Yeah? And your appreciation is going to start by the good work you're going to do in different spaces. That's how appreciative you're going to become. Reach a Hand has shaped very many people. The likes of Fabiola, the likes of Lydia Jasmine he was in your class, 2016, 2017. Yeah? The likes of the Just Steady, the Race Signatures, the Alan Tonics, all of them have attended the academy. And it has raised us who we are. Now we are raising up a new class of actors and actresses. How many actors of Mama Wank are going to be with us? Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, we're having Chadala Season 3. We are working on another one called Advocate's Mother. Very many quite good movies. So we are raising up a new breed of superstars that are going to be part of the change makers that we have today. Because there's another presentation, I would love to end, or to give you a word of encouragement. You know, Mandela once said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Your education, both as individuals and as peer educators, will be your greatest asset. Believe in the power of your knowledge, your ability to create change, and your capacity to inspire others. You guys are change makers. The education you need is not the education you've been having in school. The education that we have given you in this 1 month and the journey that you're going to move with us in this whole year is going to be a contribution to the change of so many young people that you're going to surface. How many of you that have been in school where Reach a Hand has been? Raise up your hand. Senior 6 vacists. Wonderful. How many of us are university students? How many of us are nowhere, but we are somewhere? It's okay. Yeah. You raise up your hand. You're somewhere, you're nowhere, you're not in school, you're just there. Now why is then these two boys putting up their hands? Now, you're lucky that you've got your school of inspiring others, because now all of us are into one school. Yeah, Genesis. At the end of this year, you're going to be like, I'm educated, boss. I've passed through Reach a Hand Peer Educators Academy and I have my qualifications. And you'll get a job nowhere, from anywhere. I can tell you, we have trained over 150 young people that have not attained a degree, neither senior 6 VAC, but now are working in formal jobs. I can tell you. A good testimony to that is Next Media. Next Media is employing over 25 of our young people that have gone through, but most of them are in camera. You remember Case? Kate and Reach a Hand. Do you think that Case has a degree? Now he had the USA. But he went, he's like, I'm a peer educator at Reach a Hand. Never more with him. Natandika okucyankalanya ekibuga kyonna. Yeah? Out of his bad words that were coming out in his mouth. Those were not trained from Richard Hand. Yeah? In Richard Hand he was a good boy. But when he went there, but he got a job and he's got where he is. Because he got a good foundation from here. So, if he make it. Me, I don't have a master's like my friend. You get it? But the masters we have is a master of opportunities, of knowledge, of experience. And that's the school that you attain. And that's why I'm saying the asset that you have, that you gain today, in this month, it is going to be an asset of creating change to others. As I conclude, I want you to carry these words with you. You are not just part of this academy, but I want you to know that all of us are the heartbeat of Richard Hand Uganda. You're part of us. If they say, who are your donors, who are your investors, the strong investment we have is you guys. You're the strong investment that Richard Hand Uganda is having. So that's why I want you to know that you're the heartbeat of Richard Hand Uganda. Your passion, dedication, and commitment will create a ripple effect of change that will resonate beyond what you can imagine. So I want you to embrace this journey, empower your peers, and together let's build the future that we'd love to see. And that future is going to start in your homes, in your communities, in your churches, in your friends and relatives and everyone. That change is going to start there to diversify in the whole world. So let's build a future where every young person, older person, mothers can thrive. So I'd love to congratulate you for being part of us for this 1 month. And I might say, let this journey begin. We are an open team. I know that you haven't met the rest of the teams at Richard Hand Uganda and Sauti Plus, but those guys were part of you. I might say that Ondu Noreen, you can wave at us. Yeah? Noreen also as well started from this class, and now she's our board member at Richard Hand Uganda. Yeah? That can really show you that we look out for our own. Richard Hand as an organization now, 90% of our employees, 90% of people that are working for Richard Hand Uganda are heartbeat of that organization because they were part of this class. And by 2026, we want 100% of our employees, both at Sauti and Richard Hand Uganda, to be heartbeat of those two entities because they were part of this class. And that's why we are striving. Okay? So, I'd love to say that you guys have begun the most beautiful journey. Let's embrace it. Let's be open to one another. Let's protect what we have. Protecting is this institution of Richard Hand. So that tomorrow, most of our parents began from here. I can say my dear sister there. Yeah? She used to come in this class when she's so little with the father. You get it? Mr. Amon Muliowa, who's going to be joining us tomorrow, I think. Right? He was here. Did he mention her? Or he kept quiet? You get it? But now she's a big girl in the same class. Amon was also my lecturer. The father was my trainer as a peer educator in 2004, 5. But you see that transition, and we're still together. So in that heartbeat, let's embrace one another. Let's keep supporting each other. Let's protect now the brand that you're part of Richard Hand Uganda. Let's embrace it. Let's protect it. We live in an open space. Let's interact with one another. You're my friends, I'm your friend. You're my mentors, I'm your mentor. You're my coaches, I'm your coach. So we keep building one another on a daily basis. because we all have one mission. We're in this place not to get selfish interests, but to go and we transform and build other people's communities in one way or the other. Okay? Anything that has not gone well, on behalf of the team, I don't want to reach that time when we are all celebrating and I have to tell you, you know what, we are very sorry. No, anything that has not gone well, we are sorry. But anything that has gone well, let's appreciate it. We are also trying. Because one of the things I would love to emphasize is that everything that you see Reach a Hand start, it is not because there's money driven behind it. It is passion that drives it. That's why you see we try as much as possible to do unique things, to put flavor, to make sure that you and I appreciate them in order for our sisters, my daughter, to come and embrace them tomorrow. Reach a Hand was started on a foundation of no money driving us. But was started on a foundation that one day the money is going to come. And when that time comes and the money comes, it even helps us to do more greater things ever. I remember the first outreach we did. The first outreach, I had 40,000 shillings in 2011. 40K on my own self. That 40K, I bought fuel of 20. I bought sugar and some portion and whatever of another 10K. Then the other 10K, because now I had to put these guys. I had celebrities. I don't know whether you know Rachel K. Yeah, you know Rachel K. There's another one. You know Ray Signature. At that time, they had a group called Big Time Boys. You get it? So, nenga wakati mumurinye motoka of a friend of mine. Nzene ninya boda. Nimbasanga yowa inatet. But that dedication and determination, I had already seen 10 years where we shall be. All right? And that 10 years, we are now here. We're now here. That now we shall have peer educators. Guys, I couldn't go because we don't have transport. Do you understand that? Why? Because you're entitled. Because there's someone who has worked for 10 years to make sure that 10 years things are different from the last 10 years. The schools that we have been going to, remember, now these guys who have been in schools, we've been having like big stages, musicians, you know. Those days we'd use a megaphone. Okay? Because we saw 10 years from now, things are going to be different. That's the passion and dedication that has been driving us for the last 14 years, that even up to now, we are still striving on that. Because you guys are the biggest investors in us. You've invested your transport. You've invested your time. You've invested the small money to come and attend. This is more of like learning to make us better in order to do our work better. Now it's going to be the time of Reach a Hand in investing in you. And we want by the year 2025, you're going to stand up strong and you say, because of this journey that I've moved with Reach a Hand Uganda, I am who I am because they've invested in me. You get? And that's not something that we take for granted. So let's be part of this moving ship, a ship that grows every day, a ship that supports your mother, my daughter, your sister, your cousin, brother, to have a changed life in this country together. I wish to stop here. If you have any questions, I am going to be around. I'm not going anywhere. You can ask me. But we're going to have this whole year moving together. So if you have questions and you find me somewhere, Chimbus, if you have any opportunity you would love to bring on board, please do. You know, but we are going to have a lot of big things happening this year. A lot of big things. And you guys are going to be part of making those big things together. Thank you so much. Yes, Madam Ems.
Thank you so much, dearest founder, Mr. Humphrey Naimanya. So let's give him a very loud abako. Let's prepare our hands. Rob, prepare your hands. So Abako, 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 Kalabanda, Kalabanda, Mr. Founder. So our dear respondent, this opportunity, so many of us are really looking forward to being very influential people in different places. Thank you so much, with your hand.
Hi, my name is Brenda Nanyonjo, CEO, Miss Uganda, founder, Miss Uganda Foundation, and director, Miss Uganda High School. Today we are here at NRG Radio to launch Miss Uganda High School. So if you're there asking why Miss Uganda High School, we have several reasons why, Miss Uganda High School. We need ambassadors for Miss Uganda in these schools, that's one. We need good influence for these young women in their schools, so the queens or the princesses will be those ambassadors.
As Reach a Hand Uganda, we are so much committed to move this journey, and today it has just started. It's been in the shelf for a long time, and I'm happy that we have unveiled it today.
And I think the young people in Uganda are going to be wowed because, as she said, Miss Uganda has very great opportunities. So we are really excited as Sauti.
We're here because we're cognizant that, Brenda, what you're doing is in line with what our purpose is, and that is content.
NRG Radio is really, really pleased to be involved with this project, Miss Uganda High School. I think it's going to be an amazing success.
As you can see, our trend is all-day confidence. Anything that has to do with confidence, definitely Move will always be there.
So we're looking for someone that can actually be mentored, someone who has a talent perhaps that we can, take to another level and nurture. So we don't want someone just looking beautiful, sitting there and looking like a flower, but when they talk, you don't want to listen.
Hi, my name is Brenda Nanyonjo, CEO, Miss Uganda, founder, Miss Uganda Foundation, and director, Miss Uganda High School. Today we are here at NRG Radio to launch Miss Uganda High School.
Girl child, can you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be?
Deep down, I've always believed in myself and known I'm just as good as anyone else. But lately, I notice that the world treats me differently because I'm a girl. From sunrise to sunset, my sisters and I do chores at home, while my brothers get to do whatever they want. And I see my mother carry the full burden of tending to our family. In church, they don't like when I ask questions, so I've learned to sit quietly. In the street, I see girls who walk in fear, as mothers warn their daughters not to give men the wrong idea. Everywhere I look, the world tells me I'm inferior, but this does not feel true. What's going on here?
Girl child, you are right to question.
Who? Do I know you?
I am your mother's mother and her mother's mother. I am the mother of all.
Then you must know why the world treats us this way. Please tell me, how did this come to be?
Well, It is complicated, and there are many overlapping theories, but we do know that these traditions were man-made long, long ago. It was not always like this. In the beginning, men and women walked side by side together, valued equally as hunters and gatherers. Eventually, we began to settle down. And around this time, we elevated the idea of property and the need to own land and control a workforce. Men became protective of what was theirs, which led to fighting. Sexual violence against women became a weapon of war. Conquerors enslaved women as concubines. Men felt entitled to own and take on many wives, even in times of peace. As their wealth grew, so did the desire to give males an inheritance. Girls came to be seen as property, valued primarily for their sexual purity and ability to have children. They were exchanged between families for a price. Many girls were subjected to traditions aimed at preserving their purity and family honor. Many are still practiced today. It is this domination that gave birth to all forms of slavery and how women became the world's first slaves. It is how patriarchy and the ethic of male honor became the norm. Patriarchy was woven into our civilizations, our laws, economies, philosophies, sciences, and especially our religions. It is everywhere, and it is invisible. It's no accident that we replaced ancient images of God as both male and female with images of God as a man.
But haven't we made progress since those times?
In some ways, yes. But in many ways, we're still moving in the wrong direction.
But what can I do when patriarchy is everywhere? I can't turn my back on my family or on my faith.
There is a spiritual path to liberation in the Bible and other religious traditions, but we must be brave and question what isn't working. Women and men, girls and boys, even the earth itself are suffering under the domination of patriarchy. To heal our land, we must bravely untangle our traditions from this oldest oppression. What was made by our hand can also be unmade. We must keep walking the Exodus path from slavery to the freedom of the Promised Land. Imagine if we could re-know the beautiful world that was meant for all God's children.
A world where girls can grow up feeling safe and equally valued?
A world where both boys and girls grow up to be all they were meant to be. Girl child, your curiosity has set you on a path many others have walked before you. Because of their work, we know the way forward, but there's a lot more to do and more truth to discover. Are you ready to take this journey with me? Girl child. Imagine if we could re-know the beautiful world that was meant for all God's children.
A world where girls can grow up feeling safe and equally valued?
A world where both boys and girls grow up to be all they were meant to be. Girl child, your curiosity has set you on a path many others have walked before you. Because of their work, we know the way forward, but there's a lot more to do and more truth to discover.
So when you watch that video, what do you see? How do you relate it with your communities that you're living in?
What I've learned is that society has brought up girls in a way that they should always be inferior to their male subordinates.
From the video, I get to see how society promotes patriarchy and gender roles, because patriarchy is how society gives men power over women and how society has gender roles women that are supposed to do this and that.
That's what I've learned. Thank you.
Okay, one person. Let me get the gentleman.
Yeah. So me, I have learned that it's up to us, me and you, to make this world a better place. What was meant by a person, it can be unmade again with a person. So I believe it's up me and you to make this world a better place to live in.
One last person and we go into our session. We shall get those reactions from your papers and then, yes.
What I've learned from the video is that curiosity is a good thing, and at some point it can lead you into the right path.
Okay. So allow me come to the end of this. So we're going to get your reactions when we leave. There will be a camera out there capturing most of the reactions, and yes, and that I think leads us to our mental health session. Our last facilitator of the day. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Abako for ham, Abako, Kalabanda, ham. The video had all you needed to know, and it had the clear information. I'm sure all of us have had something we have learned. So allow me welcome our next facilitator, who is going to take us through mental health. Abako, as he comes, Abako, Kalabanda, facilitator.
Hello. Good afternoon. I am the last presenter of the day. That's why the mood is down. Okay, I'm going to be brief. My name is Kamara. That's the best name I know. Yeah. I am a young person. You know, when we were enrolled in 2016, we would not mention anything like adult, stuff like that. But I'm a young person. I head Mental Health Focus, which is an organization registered in Uganda, specifically for mental health services. At the same time, I play a part as a student. I'm doing my master's in clinical psychology, Makerere. This is my second year. So I love Reach a Hand because Reach a Hand is our mother. We are very many. When Humphrey was mentioning the likes of this one, I remember in our year she was very little, and we would see ourselves older. But I am happy that at least the journey has grown. We are many. We started when we were very few, and we believe that in years to come, maybe we'll be in like thousands. Yeah. So we are looking at mental health, and it's just a brief presentation. I wouldn't even have made that, but specifically for you to take a few notes. We all know mental health, do we? Do we understand the term mental health? Because, yeah, usually mental health is confused by the word itself, mental health. Now, everywhere I go and I say I'm coming from Mental Health Focus, be like, yeah, you're talking about mental health and then mental health focus. So, You just need to be smart in whatever you do. And that's why you're in this academy, because probably tomorrow you may take the same journey I took. Now for me, I formulated this in our first class, first day of the academy. You know, these inspirational speakers that come in, they are all talking about, you know, reproductive health, sexual reproductive health, all those things. And I'm like, no, but why did this man do psychology and then he ended up into, you know, SRHR? So, okay, let me change the culture to mental health. So, I don't believe that if you're already a change maker, then that journey started a long time ago. Right now, you're just realizing what exactly you need, or the direction you need to take as a change maker. So the planning, the consultations, it all happened a long time in your mind. Right now, you're here to accept what the calling is or what you need to be. Yeah. So, we are looking at mental health matters. That's generally the way we would say physical health matters. If you're sick, you need treatment. And so we are saying mental health also matters. Now, it's unfortunate that we're having this session at the last day, but to me, the proposal I would give Rich a hand next time is that mental health sessions should come first, for its own importance. How many of you have never been angry on earth? You've never been sad, angry. I want to see such a person who is a record maker. If you've never been angry or sad, so my session is going to just be interactive, because I have nothing new that you don't know. You know these things, but I want to know if someone mentioned mental health, what would be the first thing that clicks into your mind?
If someone mentioned mental health, I would think of those people in Butavika who are mad.
Those people in Butavika who are mad, you'll be the last, eh?
Personally, if someone mentioned mental health, I would think of the well-being, one's emotional, psychological, and social well-being, and their ability to handle stress in life.
Ability to handle stress, that's one core thing. Last person.
Okay. When I hear about the word mental health, what comes in my mind is about the emotional, the stress management and anger management.
Okay. Anger management, stress management. I know you're loud enough. You don't have to wait for me. Social well-being, emotional, psychological. Emotional, psychological. Those are two words that could mean one thing, but mental health is the way you hear the word physical health. Now, we don't care what is in those two, but our concentration should be on the word mental. As long as there is a word mental, it means that we have diverted our mind from other illnesses and we are focusing on what? The brain, right? Now, my question that I usually post to people is there anything you can do without your mind or your brain being at functional status?
there's nothing you can do without your mind, because before you do something, you first think about it. You see all of us here, you're talking, just that us, we are not allowed to talk, but everyone is talking. There are very many voices around. So before we do things, we first think about them.
All right, thank you so much. Do we all dream? Do we all have dreams? Now, I don't want to go into the spiritual part, but we believe that dreams are actions, right? And it means that the brain is at work. Now, for us in neuropsychology, we believe that as long as you're a dreamer or you're able to dream, then your brain is active. Because one, if you go back to your history of books in primary, secondary, we know the brain stores and then it goes, I don't want to go into the science, but there's some science there. Brain at work. And when it concentrates in the night where you have no activity running, like you're not peeling matoke, you're not washing, you're not, in books, the brain is at its peace. So basically it will run its own functions, even in your subconsciousness. Yeah? So that's the picture that you should have when we start to talk about mental health. Now, we want to look at very simple things that come into our mind. One of the things that have disturbed young people are the misconceptions. Those things that we hear, we read on the internet, or locally, we have discussions on. Now, she mentioned something that I took my attention to when she said, I think about those mad people in Butavika. Now, in developed countries, that is, that's a what? A myth. Like, there's no mad person. Do we believe that? Do you think they are mad people? Okay. So, in the world of mental health, there is no bad person, because if we were to use the same word for any other illness, then we would say everyone who has a broken leg is lame, right? Which is not right. So, as I speak right now, I can break down. And I will be termed to be mad. And that's what we are going to look at ahead. But we're saying that mental health is overall being, yeah, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Now, when you look at shaping our thoughts, it means we are using the brain, because it's the brain that thinks. Emotions, those are reactions of our thoughts. And overall being, because it's not about the brain. In my primary 6, I was at St. Peter's Primary. If you know that school, I had a friend I would sit with on the same desk. It so happened that one morning, we were happy throughout the day. He was a day scholar, I was in boarding. Actually, not even in boarding. My auntie was a teacher, so I was benefiting. So I wasn't in boarding. But at around 4:05, when students go back home, I saw someone walk, like running. You know, when you're in primary, they know the other person is your friend. Like, everyone knows that in that class. So this boy had gotten an accident. So now what I'm going to narrate is what I saw. So the boy was knocked out of the gate, like as he approached the road to cross. If you know, there's a barracks there. So he wanted to cross towards the barracks. So he was knocked, and then he moved up, then came back, then a running vehicle. Me, that's something I don't know that happened. But what I saw are the shoes putting on, which I knew very well because he was my friend. So those shoes have never run out of my mind. Every time I think about an accident, it's what I see, what I remember, what comes to my mind. I've worked with Red Cross for like 2 years. I know for you don't know, but there was a man called Ibra in Rahu. I worked with him before he joined Rahu. So we would go for crisis management, accidents, those things. But I got so disturbed that every time they would say there's an accident, maybe in Natete, and you have to rush there, my mind would just have those shoes. Now that's what we call the likes of mental health. So mental health is everything that we have. Everything that we have. Because there's nothing you're going to do on earth without thinking about it. Nothing. The point is, how do you manage? For those who can read, I know I'm going to be so fast because I have over 17 slides. So we're saying that mental well-being underscores that mental health is not a static state but a dynamic process. Today you're here, you have your mother, you have your father, but it is possible that you can receive a call right now and they tell you your nephew, your mother, is gone. And your state changes a little bit. And your name? Shami. If we received the same news, let's say we are sisters and brothers, there is a difference on how I will manage that situation compared to us. Now that's what we're talking about. There are those that may really manage harder, but there are those that may fail. If you've been to burial ceremonies, there are those that don't cry. Then we usually, right? Which is wrong. And there are those that cry and cry it out loud. And then we say they are weak, which is actually wrong. They are strong. Now, in the world of, I know I'll be mentioning words that actually may sound new, but in the world of grieving, which is now the death part, you're mourning, there are those that will cope so faster with grief, and there are those that will take more years and years and time. I usually use examples. I lost my dad due to cancer in the last 4 years before COVID. We are in a family of 10. Our CEO can testify to that because we are in a category of family where we've grown in villages. No tap water, no electricity. Your electricity is the stars and the moon, which is seasonal. Yeah. But I grew up knowing that a woman suffers and is supposed to be crying almost on a daily basis. But why? Because that is what I knew, I saw every day. My father beating up my mother on a daily basis. Now for him, his father died at some age. Mine died at 90. Who married my mother when my mother was 13 years. And for him it was 20 something. From Rwanda, came to the gardens of Uganda, tea estates. Married my mother when he's very young. My mother didn't go to school. Ended in P2. P2 of those ends, of those years. So my mother was beaten like a cow. From the day I started to understand until I was at Uplands, Form 5. That's when I knew that, okay, my father is no longer able to beat. Now, why am I bringing that? The day my dad died, my mother never shed a tear at all. But because we are into psychology, we knew what will happen next. I remember I stood next to my mother on, the coffin is going. Because I knew she would get into depression, the aftermath would be hard. I started reminding her, because I wanted her to break down. I reminded her of those pains. I remember I slept in the bush with her 4 times before I left the village. You know, if you've been to the village, there are those cassava stems that grow bigger. So she would run with us because our father is chasing us with a spear. He's drunk. So she would run with us to the garden, and it is raining. We sleep in those cassava stems. But I reminded her of all that. She didn't break down. The only thing she replied to me was, I cried and got tired. Now, all this may sound like a movie to some of you, but it is real. I saw my mother break down after 2 weeks. Now, in psychology, stress takes you to a period of 2 weeks to cross to depression. Now, I'm done with this slide by saying that stress and depression are 2 different things. People think that, you've had, even you yourself, maybe at some point, you'll be like, I'm stressed. That is normal. But the word I'm depressed should have taken you a period of 2 weeks. Constant experience. Nothing like today you're stressed, then tomorrow you go to the beach, you're okay. Then the situation comes back and then you say, I'm depressed. No. My mother broke down after 2 weeks. I was in Kampala. They called me back because she was seeing ghosts. She was saying, I am seeing your father coming every night to beat me. I see your father seated here looking at me. Now, those are all thoughts that were in her mind because of the time she spent experiencing the pain. But there was nothing like, I know there are people here. Yes, it is okay. Demon of our father coming back to her. It was because of the experience in the past. And because she didn't relieve that out of her, she had to experience it. And I told her, I know I'm going back to Kampala because I buried my father like today. After 3 days, I ran back to Kampala. I was working. And I told her, in 2 weeks, I will come back, but you'll not be okay. She said, I am a woman of, vigor. Nothing can break me. I have buried my granddaughters. This one. Imagine you're married at 13 years. You've lived with this man. My mother is now 65. Just imagine that time. And then you tell me you want to break down. What about your boyfriend whom you spend with 3 weeks? And then they leave you, they go to another chick, you break down. How about 65 years or 50? So, from what we call emotions, and everyone among us has been sad, everyone among us has ever been happy, scared. But the point is, emotions are complex, that's one. You're looking at me the way I am, yet inside me I'm not okay, I'm not happy. But I may put up a smile. So, there are people who have told us before that they can read people's emotions. Is it possible? Complete 100%? Impossible, right? You know yourself better. Right now, some of you probably, this is, we are young people, I will mention this. Probably you had sex last week or last night, but maybe the experience wasn't good, and you're thinking about that. But can we read that on your face? Probably yes, probably no. But the best reader of your emotions is yourself. Like I said, these include joy, sadness, anger, fear, surprise, disgust. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They have a profound impact on mental health. Now, if you are angry for over 2 weeks, is it possible that you do things you loved to do before? No. If you're a footballer, you will stop even going to football, you stop talking to your friends, you feel like you hate yourself because of one emotion, which was sadness. Now, before I proceed to the next slide, I would want to mention this also, that not only negative emotions take us into negative mental health, but also positive emotions can take us into negative mental health. Why? If right now, because we are youth, we are ambitious to new things, we love opportunities, but I want you to imagine, as you're here as a peer educator, you don't even know much about Reach a Hand, like someone who has been there for like 10 years, and they tell you now you're going to be maybe a deputy CEO. You're next to Humphrey. Just from now, in the next few minutes, you're going to represent the organization, maybe in Amsterdam. What would be the first thing in your mind? Now, the week will collapse. Yes, I'm telling you. Good news can make you break down. But isn't it something good? They have told you you're going to be earning something like maybe 24 million per month. You have allowances, you have travel, opportunities, all those things. Now you look at yourself, a person from, Kamwenge district,